Hey, 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 welcome to the Chiron Intensive. My name is Kiera.
And my name is Zeta. We're so glad to have you here with us. This podcast is all about creating a safe, real, and healing space for young adults who deserve community, honesty, and hope.
Absolutely. The Chiron Intensive is a space where we dive deep into healing. Inspired by Chiron, the wounded healer, this podcast explores how our struggles can become our strength. It's all about real talk, real growth, and creating community for young adults who deserve to thrive, not just survive, but
Ex-
thrive.
Exactly. And since this is our very first episode, we are going to introduce ourselves, share why we're here, and what this space means for us. And because this podcast is all about real conversations, we are going to start with some fun check-in questions so you can get to know us better.
Okay. So before we get into anything heavy, let's start light. So Zeta, what's one song you've had on repeat lately?
Okay, so lately, the song that I've had on repeat was You the One by Rihanna. I don't know, it just takes me back.
You don't want nothing about that one.
Yeah, that one.
I love that song.
It's just such a good song. And it's just like, I think I was maybe was I in middle school or elementary school? But it was just like, just the days I'm just snapping my fingers in the car, like, yeah, you the one.
I feel like there are two versions to that song. I feel like isn't there one where it was like a rap song and then her version.
Really?
I just remember I think so. I'm not too sure. I don't know. But I do love her. I love her version.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy because now I'm gonna have to research that and really look into it because I didn't know.
Yes. And it's crazy that you said Rihanna because the song that plays in my head all day is Praise the Lord. That
ASAP Rocky.
yes, that song it lives in my head rent free. And I feel like such a gangster when I play it. Like I'm in my car. I feel like I'm a gangster.
I love it.
That is my song. Oh my goodness.
I came, I
That
saw.
yes, yes. Oh my god, I came. I saw. That is my song, and that's crazy that you said Rihanna and they're together. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
That is actually really
What
funny.
a
I love that.
coincidence.
It is a coincidence. That means it's like a good match.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So I'm like the masculine energy here.
Oh my goodness. I wouldn't quite describe myself as that feminine, but thank you.
I am very like catch me on one day where I'm really dolled up, right? Really
Mhm.
feminine. And then obviously today, right? You saw me like and yesterday, like this entire week, I've just been thugging it out. Like, you can't say anything to me.
I like that. I like that. I think like for me, I think I was just giving Haitian mom realness just because I just had my head wrapped
You
in a
always have your hair
scrubs.
protected. Though. I love it. You are always taking care of your hair. It's always protected in some way, shape, or form. I'm actually about to get box braids. That's why I've been like, wrapping my hair up, just like preparing it for box braids.
Ooh, so like kind of keeping it stretched and tucked away because you want to make prepare it to be protected.
Yeah, I do want to get back to swimming because I told you that I just joined the YMCA, which has been extremely interesting. And one of the ways that I stayed in shape for many years was swimming, and I haven't been swimming in the past, I want to say year and a half now.
Hmm.
So now I'm getting back, and I'm like, yeah, I need to protect my hair. I need to do something.
You know, the box braids is gonna give you that like versatility, and then like even if like let's say a little water gets in it and it gets a little scruff, you can still rock a box braid. And you need
Yeah.
fitness. You need fitness.
Yeah, you
Everybody
have
does.
to oil your scalp though. And
Mhm.
also, the YMCA forces you to wear a swim cap.
Okay.
So, I mean, technically, hey, Just oil it up and then put your swim cap on and then oil it again after.
So YMCA want that hair protected too.
No, they want their pool protected from germs.
That makes sense. Oh my goodness. So then that makes me want to ask I want to know, wait, since we was talking about hair health, if your mental health was a color today, what color would it be?
Oh goodness. I was telling you before we even started recording, my color today would be absolutely gray. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not ashamed to admit when I have bad days. You know, the toxic positivity,
Yes.
like when people are always pretending to it's everything's so great, isn't it? No, I had a crappy day and it's okay. Is it the end of the world? No, but I did not have the best day. However, it was gray. My aura, I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want to be around anybody. Everybody was getting on my nerves. And then I got on the call with you and I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm all right. How about you? What color would you describe?
You know, I think I'm trying to find a way to describe, like, because I did had a moment where I was just annoyed today, and it's just work stuff. You know, I think like we all have annoyed moments.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say like maybe like a deep red because like I was angry. But it was kind of like it's still pretty, it's still beautiful because after work was finished, I told myself, well, the stressor is gone. And I'm gonna go back to my cat, and my boyfriend is gonna be here this weekend, and it's Thursday. You know what? That was annoying. That was bad. You know, I'm still keeping my eye on things because sometimes like people kind of abuse things at work, and I gotta protect myself. Yeah. But I was like, I'm not even. There's no need to complain about it really, and go into detail and rant over and over with my boyfriend because it's over.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I was like, that's the beauty about moving on with stressors. I was like, the stressor isn't there anymore. The stressor, you know how they say like fight or flight? I don't have to be in fight and flight no more. Like, you know what? And I was cuddling with Whitney when I came back home and I had pretzels and it was great.
But tell the audience who Whitney is before they get confused. They're like, wait a minute, do you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend? Give us the tea.
That is actually a good thing that you asked because I just been talking about Whitney like she's just a regular person, but she's my kitten. She's a beautiful mixed Siamese. We don't know exactly, but they know there's some Siamese in her, and she's a flame point. So, and it's so funny because she's supposed to be kind of rare. Yeah. But I got her for $50 at the shelter. So
oh my goodness. And she was a kitten?
Yeah, and she was a kitten. I think she was like 4 weeks when I got her. No.
Wow.
12, because it was June and she's an Aries. She was born.
Oh my God. I'm an Aries MC. I'm an Aries midheaven. Do you know anything about astrology?
I just know about a little bit of the categories. I know there's like the rising.
Yes.
Then there's your the one that's based off of like your moon sign, right?
Yes.
And then there is, oh my gosh. And it's like it's crazy because I know what mine's are. I just forgot the categories, but I know like I'm a Virgo, my rising is Scorpio, my moon. Okay, right. Okay, yeah. Sun is the sun, rising, moon, and then I don't remember what my midheaven is. One of them is, I know a little bit.
It's okay. But yes, I am an Aries midheaven. So anytime I hear Aries energy, I'm like, yes. And I'm a Virgo moon. So that makes sense why we have such a connection. That makes sense.
It does.
I'm a Virgo moon. And you bring light to my emotions. That makes sense. What's your moon? What did you say your moon was?
My moon is Capricorn.
Oh, that makes sense because you work with my company and my 6th house is Capricorn.
Ah, that makes sense.
But also my 5th house has some Capricorn in there too. So it's like I have fun with coworkers and I have fun at work. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense because I try to find the fun in in work too. Like,
Yeah.
like even if there's that one person, but it's like I'm still gonna try to be positive about it.
Yeah. Like I love creating curriculum. Like I love creating and mapping out programs. Like I love that part of the things. Like soccer meetups and stuff like that. I love doing things like that. So it's like, it's weird when somebody has Capricorn in their 5th house because their 5th house is supposed to be fun. But it's like,
Oh,
people with Capricorn in their 5th house have fun working. But I also have Sagittarius in my 5th. So it's like half Sagittarius, half Capricorn.
interesting.
And Sagittarius is like traveling, right? And learning.
I have a Sagittarius friend who loves traveling. Okay,
Yes.
that makes so much sense.
Yes.
Okay.
So I love to travel. I love to learn, and also teaching, right?
Mm-hmm.
Astrology is real. I don't care what anybody says. It's real.
I'm genuinely fascinated by astrology. So it's just
Yes.
like, it's interesting to learn about it, So that is
Yes.
really, really cool.
We have to, I told you we have to get Hallie in here one day and just have like an astrology session because she loves astrology too.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so amazing.
Yes.
She's gonna read us.
I can read you. I can read you.
For real?
I could. Am I gonna do that right now? No, but we can definitely
That'd be so cool.
map that out. Yeah, I can.
That is so cool. Just don't make sure I just don't cry on the spot or something. If you, I'm a sensitive girl.
I understand. We can definitely set that up. But on a different topic, related. On a different topic though, what is your go-to comfort food? It is kind of related because we were speaking about what do we have fun doing.
Right.
But what is your go-to comfort food or your self-care ritual, whichever one, or if you want to tell us both?
You know what? I got both. I love Reese's Cups. I love it so much.
Chocolate, anything. Oh my gosh.
Yes, if I have an opportunity to eat chocolate, I'm eating it. And then but the Reese's Cups gets me every single time. Like literally, if I have like a really rough day, I'm like, even if I'm broke and I got $1.25, I'm going to the $1.25 tree and getting me a Reese's Cup.
That's exactly what it needs to be called, the $1.25 tree, because it's definitely not $1.
Right. And then
crazy, but it's so true. Yes.
I know, and it just gives me a dopamine hit. Like I gotta be careful with candy, but I have to just have that, and I'm getting a dopamine hit, and I'm feeling great. And then like for a self-care ritual, I wish I poured a bucket of it. That was Whitney. She's learning that gravity works. But
we didn't hear anything.
Okay, good. She's like, don't worry about this, Mom. I got this. But yeah, I wish I could have a better self-care ritual, but I know that for me, it's at least journaling in some type of form. And then just finding a way to have the night to myself. So that could mean like a nice warm shower. A nice warm shower. And then I wish some of it is just kind of like, I wish I could just get a massage. But yeah, that's pretty much what I do. Just find a Reese's Cup, some type of chocolate, even Oreos, and eat it up. How about you?
Oh my gosh. Now this is going to sound crazy because this is not even a snack. This is a full-blown meal. My comfort food is, and I just had it the other day because I've been going through housing issues and everything. So lately, if I have been craving something, I've just been like, go for it, eat it, get it. And I got myself some West Indian, Jamaican to be exact, oxtails. Yes, some oxtails with some macaroni and cheese and some, what is it? The black beans and the rice, like the dirty rice, and some cabbage with some hot sauce. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And then my self-care ritual, I'm really, really big on candle, like getting myself a candle, getting myself a little face mask, and just zoning out turning off the TV and just like reading a nice book or something.
Wow, that actually sounds really, really relaxing. And I think I'm gonna take something out your book.
Yes. But it's funny though, because I just went to the library today and I have like 5 books that I took out that are all, first of all, banned. And
Oh, banned in the US or like banned in public schools?
I think they are banned in schools. I think they're banned.
I have an idea what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, and they're all like horror, mystery, crime. So it's like it's 'tis the season, right? Halloween is around the corner because I
Mhm.
was like, oh my goodness, I didn't even do it on purpose. It just so happened that all of them are like black and red and those themes, and I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. October coming up.
It's like you subconsciously knew. It was like, it is the season.
Yes, but I'm just like, let me read some of these banned books. Let me see what's going on. But sometimes they are banning books simply because they don't want you to learn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a whole other episode.
Man, that's yeah. Because I know there's like a ton of them.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh my gosh, you know what? Since we was mentioning books, right? Growing up, and this is just entertainment, just making me think about entertainment. Growing up, what TV show or character did you feel most connected to?
Oh my gosh. Winnie the Pooh. Well,
You gotta go dive into it. Tell
okay,
me.
okay. First of all, I was obsessed with Winnie the Pooh as a child. I was obsessed. I had to have all of the Winnie the Poohs. I had to have all of the movie tapes and the stuffed animals, everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that my energy fluctuates between Eeyore and Tigger.
So like the slow and then the hyper.
Yes, like one minute I have like all the energy in the world to do everything that I'm trying to get done. And then once I get it done, I'm like, Eeyore. I'm like, oh my God, what was the point? Or like, I'm so tired, right? So yeah, so Winnie the Pooh, I loved like the whole series. I loved Winnie the Pooh, but I would I would put myself between Eeyore and Tigger.
You know, that is like, I don't know, that felt like a nice like character analysis of yourself. That was like pretty interesting to
I
hear.
know, right? Imagine if they actually had like a mixture, if they, made a character with, you know, to represent that. That's interesting. How about
I
you?
think it would be an adult, I think, because man, adulting would do that to you for sure.
It definitely will. It definitely will, especially if you're in the wrong environment. Especially if you're in the wrong environment.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off earlier. For me, and this is, I feel so silly saying it, but I'm like, the first part of what I'm going to say is not going to be silly. It's just the next part I want to say. So the first part is like, for me, I feel like I felt most connected to True Jackson in the True Jackson VP.
Not
Nickelodeon. Yes, Kiki. And there was a point in time where okay, so the first part is because I liked her go-getter, like ambitious. She had a funny, like, I don't like to describe myself as funny, but I think I can make people, sometimes I make people laugh. Like,
yes.
she was ambitious and I was like, I'm ambitious too. I'm not quite fashionable and she was fashionable, but I just like seeing her creativity, her personality shine, like her being there for herself and her friends. So I kind of like saw myself in that. And then also the second part of it is I had a delusional period where I swear I thought I was like Keke Palmer's like twin. Like I was like, yeah, I look like Keke Palmer. Keke Palmer is my celebrity.
I love Keke Palmer. I love her. Anytime I see like a clip or like a short with her, I have to watch it. She just has a lot of good energy,
She does, and I love her too. She came to FSU for us to speak to us, and literally I was on a high horse because when it was like, oh, anybody has Q&A, I basically briskly briskly took my little feet on over to that line, and I made it before people because they had it at a certain cap. And I got to speak to Kiki. I felt so good. And then I shouted out my friends. I was like, Kiki, me and my friends, we started this club. Jade and Zach, and he was like, not you name dropping us. And I said, oh yeah, it's Kiki Palmer. If I get to talk to her, I'm putting you guys on too.
Yes. Oh, that is so cool. I love when celebrities are actually kind, because I've worked in industries that put me front and center with celebrities, and I was like, it would be better if I never met you. Like, you know, you love somebody and then you meet them and you find out they're not the best.
Oh my God.
It kind of like, it hurts a little bit. One person who is a sweetheart though is Shaq. Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille O'Neal
is a sweetheart.
Oh my God, for real? So he's like a gentle giant?
Yes, he is a sweetheart. Oh my goodness. And it was so funny because this is when I was working in hotel reservations. So I didn't even see him face to face. He was ordering something and he accidentally dialed into reservations, and I was just talking to him, and he's super cool, super kind, but he had that deep, you know, his voice is like very recognizable.
Yeah, sure.
It was so funny. But yeah, I'm glad that you were able to meet Kiki and still feel good about meeting them, right?
Right.
Because that's just heartbreaking when you meet somebody and you're like, oh my God, I used to like you.
That would make me feel so kind of like my world. Oh,
yes.
World.
Yes. So just about us. If you want to share about yourself, and then I'll go, just share your story, your perspective. What do you think are the reasons for us co-creating this podcast? Let us know. Let's go.
Absolutely. So, the reason why I wanted to co-create this podcast is because I wanted to allow a space for various types of people who might feel represented by me and my background, to feel like they have someone to give a little bit of guidance, tips, or just even like feel like they have a space to be like, I'm not alone in this, you know, like I'm Haitian American, and a lot of the things that passed through in my life, it all tied to either like cultural differences or the impact that my family had on my education, my health, and even like my living situation. And I think like if I had more tailored guidance to being like a Black woman in America and a Black Haitian woman in America, I think it would have reminded me a little bit more about how not alone I am, and also how my personal experiences isn't specifically just stuck with me. Like there's other folks going through this. So I struggled with some also neurodivergent like experiences, and didn't really realize that I could be until like college, when I was completely on my own, you know, like short story short, you know, and I hope any Haitian listeners out there know I'm not dropping to you about my family, but I think a lot of us can relate to where if you kind of decide to move away from home, your parents, there's a high chance either your parents will fully support you or they will decide to keep you by yourself and just throw you in there in the sharks and say, don't come back home. And that was my case. So while I was figuring out everything, and there was college, there was the idea of making new friends or keeping the friends that you have, I found out like there was probably a chance I'm autistic. So long story short, there was a whole journey with like therapy, juggling being diagnosed with like major depressive disorder and anxiety, but not figuring out why wasn't it lessening when I'm a theater major and I talk to people all the time and I'm exposed to people critiquing and saying no and rejections, but I'm still feeling this way. So it's kind of like, if there was more spaces like that, and people that look like me or had similar experiences, I think like I would have been consuming more of that content and made my life a little bit more smoother, or find a community or more diverse community. Also, with this podcast, I'm very excited to explore like Kiara's viewpoints or others' viewpoints, or even going back and forth on what's like different about us in our perspective and our personalities. And because over time, as I leaned into more of my healing and through college, through my college years and post college, being surrounded by different folks from different backgrounds, I'm seeing like, okay, like this personality, I mesh well with this person. I never thought I would ever be friends with them, but they have great values and I like to hear their perspective. So it just feels like I realized that I actually like also hearing different things, new ideas to navigate things, figuring out what's life like for people with ADHD, people who may not have depressive disorders, but they're bipolar, like, and it's nice for me to see that we are all going through something, but there's different ways to support each other. And I find that even with the people that I love, because I'm never going to turn them away if they find out they're bipolar, or if they find out they have schizophrenia, that, you know what, you're still going to be in my life. I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You might be neurotypical, you might be neurodivergent, but I want to get to know your world. Like,
it's a superpower.
Exactly. And I feel like it reminds me so much about how we're just human, despite all the diagnoses or the lack thereof. We're human, and we also go through things at the end of the day. And we have to be there for each other and create things that support each other. Because I even talked about it with my therapist. One day she asked me, because I told her, oh my gosh, like the fact that I could be possibly autistic, but I can't prove it. And when stuff happens in my life and people think it's like an excuse or I'm making up something, like, why can't they just get it? Why don't they just listen? And she told me to stop trying to prove myself.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to prove yourself.
Yep.
If they want to learn, they want to learn. If they don't, they don't. And then she was like, and if they can't conceptualize you're in a neurodivergency, let me give you this thought experience so that you can at least get on their shoes on why they can't. And she was like, can you think that you can imagine what it's like for somebody who has schizophrenia? Do you have schizophrenia? And I was like, no. And she was like, do you have any idea what it could be like for them? And I said, no. And then I was like, you know what? There's two sides. Like, the people that choose not to understand is like, because you don't have an understanding. Although I'm not making excuses that they could still learn, it's like that they have maybe whatever going on in life where they can't allow anything in their life to explain what's going on. And then there's the other side where, oh my gosh, I forgot. But the other side of pretty much that sometimes
The other side of rejection.
Yes, the other side of the rejection. Exactly. And I just feel like this podcast is going to create that space to have that conversation. Like, and my passion around mental health, around helping each other, around like people actually supporting each other through community. Because even with my depression, even with my anxiety, the social anxiety, I'm like, we need people. And that's the only way that we can mainly thrive, if we find ways to support each other in the way that we need, not in the way that we think other people need, but in the way they need it.
It's interesting that you just brought up the topic of rejection, because Chiron, if you read the story of Chiron, he was a centaur child and he was regarded as grotesque by his mother, and his mother pretty much rejected him, right? So yeah, that's very interesting that you brought up the rejection there, especially familial rejection,
Oh
and
my gosh,
feeling
yes.
unable to heal yourself, because technically that is a disability, right?
Right.
I call it a superpower. But it is something that you have to navigate. And the fact that a lot of people, not just you, but a lot of people deal with familial rejection whenever they are outside of the box. I know for myself, I've been dealing with a housing crisis. If I just share with the audience, my apartment flooded about goodness, maybe I want to say a month ago now.
Yeah, I think so.
A month ago, and I'm just going to be honest. I tried to go back home with my mother and my sister. They live there, and they are basically trying to get revenge on me by not allowing me back home.
That is so devastating.
So here I am, a business owner, developing business. We are here working our butts off, trying to make this happen. And I'm dealing with a housing crisis in the back end, right?
Right.
Um, so yeah, a lot of people deal with familial rejection, and it's something that is going to continue, unfortunately. And it seems to be very prevalent the in families of color
Yeah. Yeah.
because uh, I don't want to be too transparent, but I want to be transparent. So, the fact of the matter is, I told the truth about a family situation, and this was years ago. I told the truth. I'm always getting in trouble for telling the truth.
Same here.
I got in trouble in third grade. I went to go take a test, and the woman was calling me Kyra. And I said, I was ignoring her at first because that's not my name. I was
Right.
ignoring her. I was just flat out ignoring her. And then my classmate was like, she's calling you. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. My name is Kiera. And I'm like, that's all I said. I said, oh, I'm sorry. My name is Kiera. I'm correcting you. And I got in trouble and I was told to go stand. Mind you, this is a test for me to get into the school. Number one.
What?
Yes. She made me go stand outside in the hallway until about 10 minutes before the test ended and
No
ask me
way.
if I got into the school.
Did you get into the
I got
school?
into the school anyway. So do you see what
Period.
I'm saying? You tried to stop me, you tried to block me, and it didn't work. But anyway, we are always dealing. I feel like especially women of color are always dealing with rejection in some way, shape, or form, especially Black women, because we can box it in and say women of color, but let's just bring it down to size. Black women, we are always dealing with rejection in some way, shape, or form. How many job applications have you put in this year alone?
Girl, girl, I stopped counting, I think by like 100.
Come on. I probably have thousands, right? Because
Mhm.
even though, and this is what people don't understand, you can have a business, you can own a business, you can put all these expenses into a business. Where do you think that money is coming from? I'm not rich. I'm not a nepo baby. I need money to fund my business, right?
Right.
So I have been working and hustling and just doing everything that I can to fund my business. And instead of being proud of me, instead of wanting to be a part of it, wanting to break cycles, we are now trying to get revenge because all I did was speak the truth. Do you get what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mhm.
And it's okay because, like I said earlier, it's a lesson. It's a lesson. And it's also for the plot because I'm a writer. And this everything that I go through, I write about. Even if I turn it into a fantasy or I turn it into something, it's still at its core something that I went through, right?
Right.
And just like you had to learn how to navigate, because I'm assuming you still speak to your family, right?
So I came through a long journey because yes, now I do. The main person that I don't speak to is my father, rarely. Um, but um I'm gonna hold for a second. I thought somebody was coming in. But
Okay.
Sorry about that. But basically I went through like, it was really weird because yes, I I do talk to my family, but it's not in the same way where I think like other people imagine talking to the family. Because like I said,
Right.
I don't talk to my father. My mom tries to make me talk to him, but
Right.
I think she does that because she has this image of like the perfect family. But I know it's slipping in her hands. Pretty much, I speak to my two sisters, my little sisters, Ali's and Ida's. I love them so much. But I pretty much keep a relationship with my mom where it's kind of like 6 feet,
Yeah.
6 feet. Like I still visit home. I still ask my mom for favors. I still help my mom when
Yeah.
my sister tells me there's an emergency and she misunderstands something. And I'm like, I'm getting there. I'm going to clear it. I do that. But because I'm like, you know what, mom, you did some bad stuff, but I know you wouldn't have, you're grown. Can't make excuses for you. But some of the stuff that you did, you wouldn't have done it if my dad was still in the picture. And I think a lot of people don't like hearing that because they're like,
Mhm.
that's your dad. You
Mhm.
know, like before I said no to my mom and my dad. So they'll be like, that's your mom and dad. But they just crossed too many boundaries where I told myself, if I let my best friend do this, would I still be friends with her?
Exactly.
And
That's
it's like,
called
no.
self-love,
Right.
self-worth, and self-protection.
Exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it at all. So I yeah, like grandma, grandpa, definitely still connected with them. It's just, yeah, there's just huge boundaries I set with my mom. She tries to make me talk with my dad and I tell her no. Other family members, they know not to do that, so they don't ask me to, but my mom will still. And
Exactly.
yeah, it's kind of like I came to terms with it because it was there was a point in time when it was bad enough where I was like, yeah, if my parents have a funeral, I'm not going to be there. It was that bad. I think like
Oof.
about a year and a half ago,
Yeah.
but uh my mom apologized one day and it was a genuine apology. She did try to apologize on behalf of my dad, which I told her that's not how apologies work. You can't apologize on behalf of another grown person. But that's when I gave my mom a little bit more of a chance. Still boundaries, but I gave her a little bit more of a chance because
Yeah.
and it's like you don't ever hear that about a Haitian mom saying sorry because she literally
Right.
said, I'm sorry for everything I did," and she was
Right.
like, and I was like, you know what? I accept your apology, mom. And she did it right in front of my sister. Because normally, if she's doing it in front of somebody, she's gonna be like, I did what I had to do, and that's her apology. Like, but she didn't do
Exactly.
that. So that's what made a difference in me, like a genuine apology. Other way,
Exactly.
I would have been probably, like, and I feel you when you say that your mother and your sister try to take that as an opportunity to seek revenge because my parents have done something similar where
Yeah.
it feels like whatever they felt, they feel like they have the right to cause like some type of retribution over you when it's still
Yeah.
kind of like in one hand they'll try to say we're blood, why did you do that, we're blood, but then when it comes to genuinely being kin, they don't act like it until it's like their best convenience. So I feel
Yeah.
like you have your arch, you're having like your big boss, like slay boss arch. This is just your story. And then pretty soon they're gonna be knocking on your door like here.
I don't
Or
want them knocking at my door. If I'm honest with you, I this was supposed to happen because when certain things happen that you're like, they would never do that to you. They would never do that to me, right?
mm-hmm.
Now I see that, oh, you will. Okay. I don't want you knocking at my door. This
Right.
is it. We're good. I don't hate anybody. I don't wish anybody ill, but we're good.
I
We're
think that's
good.
poetic. That was
Yeah.
kind of poetic.
We're good because I told the truth too many times I wouldn't have any truth to tell if it didn't happen. Do you see there?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have any truth to say if it didn't happen. It happened. And just like you said, how your mom did a lot of things because your dad wasn't present, my biological father died when I was 2. So I have been raised by the women in my family my entire life. And then my stepfather came into my life about the age of 3, right? And too many things have happened. And it was to the point where I moved out of the state where I moved entirely away from all of them to heal, to come to terms with being able to be independent, because I felt like, I'm from New York, right? I felt like living in New York makes you very dependent. You're either dependent on your family, you're either dependent on the government. It makes you dependent because it is too expensive, right?
Right.
So the struggle with me back then was, I'm never going to be able to be independent here. I'm always going to have to depend on my abusers, right?
Oh, goodness.
And so I left. I moved to South Carolina, and I found myself having my first son with their dad, who unfortunately we had no business being together. But I had my first son, and he is the reason why my boundaries, I wouldn't even say bulletproof. Like, is there another word?
Is it like steel, made of steel?
Like, I was not leaving my son alone with anybody. It was so bad that I didn't even want to leave him at daycare. When I started working again, I didn't want to leave him at daycare. And then I have my second son, and my second son taught me how to open my mouth.
Like, speak up for yourself. Or
Yes, I haven't shut up since, and that's the problem. Because I started telling the truth when I had my second born. So my first son taught me boundaries. Like, no, you will absolutely not be alone with my child, because I know what you did when I was alone with you, right? You will absolutely not be alone with my son. And then my second son is like, oh, you're going to speak. You're going to talk now about why you have those boundaries. And oh man, when I tell you the things that I have gone through for speaking up for myself, setting boundaries, and standing on business, like not wavering on my boundaries, and
it's like kind of like in Black families where they try to force you into complacency, because like I've been there before.
Exactly. And unfortunately, growing up in family systems like this can put you in a situation where you are creating that same environment. I realized very quickly that I was creating the same environment, and I immediately had to be done with it. And I have been raising 2 boys since because I don't care. Everybody can judge, call me whatever. I'm never going to, and I just said this to their dad a couple of weeks ago. I'm never going to settle. I'm never going to put myself in a position where I'm being disrespected, especially in front of my sons, because you're not going to teach them this. Right?
Right.
And I'm not the type of person to sit back and take it. I'm going to fight you back. So it's best that we part ways,
Oh my goodness. No, you're kind of like embodying like what I want to be if I ever do have children, because it looked like your boundaries was crossed so many times, and then like you weren't given the opportunity in your youth to fortify it, because boundaries only get stronger when you actually set them up more, and then you allow yourself to stand by your reasonings for that boundary.
Exactly. Exactly. You have to know when to say enough is enough. Just like we were like, oh, they're gonna come knocking on your door. I don't want them to, because enough is enough. I
Right.
don't even want to entertain the thought I have been shown something and it will never be unseen,
Mhm. That's
And
true.
same for you. Same for you.
Thank you. Did I give you the chance to talk about why, I mean, because I feel like you kind of did, but I'm like, wait, did I give her the chance? Did I say
This is why Grounded Stars exist. I wanted to create a platform for youth who do not have a voice, for youth who are unable to speak up, for youth who do not have a safety system at home or a safe person at home, or maybe they do have safe people at home but they don't know how to express themselves. Maybe they're a great artist but they don't know how to vocalize. So Grounded Stars is here. We are creating programs where we are teaching social emotional learning, how to regulate your emotions, how to recognize red flags, how to understand when you're being mistreated. And not just by family members, but let's say, especially in the teen years, when you're starting to date, when you're making friends. Because let's be honest, how many times have you made a friend that you thought was your friend and come to find out it's your biggest hater?
Oh, girl.
So these are the things that we're teaching. We want you to be able to spot these behaviors before you experience something. But sometimes you have to experience it to learn from it. But we are here to help you cope with it.
I like to say this all the time where when I first came across Grounded Stars, I was like, oh my gosh, I needed this.
Right? I like every day that I'm like creating a program, I'm like, oh my God, I could have been like, this could be like, I'm speaking it into existence. This could be like a school, right? Think of Hogwarts. Well, you haven't read Harry Potter. I'm obsessed with Harry Potter still to this day. But like this could be like a school where you are honestly just learning life and learning how to soften situations. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes a lot of sense.
Because I could have gone to this school, give me a magical power or two.
My college brain is like, oh my gosh, what if there's one day like a Grounded Star scholarship?
Oh, I can't wait for the day that we have the ability to give out scholarships. I am excited to eventually, well, we know that we have the youth contributor ability, like to hire teenagers ages 13 and up to submit content or to do projects and help us out here as much as they can.
Mm-hmm. I like
So,
that.
yes, I'm excited to be able to put money into teens' pockets, especially marginalized teens, because I know what it feels like to not want to ask your parents for money. I started working at the age of 14, so I know what it feels like to want to make your own money, want to have your own. Because I remember as soon as I turned 14, I got my working papers, honey, and I went to a school and I signed up to be an after school person. And that first $90 that I made,
Oh, yes.
oh, I'm taking myself to the movies.
I love that. So it's kind of like you still know how to like younger you knew how to like be that go-getter so that you can give yourself what you need and want.
I had no choice, if I'm honest. I had no choice because I realized at a very young age that I was being controlled by money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go into too many details right now. I would love to, make an episode about it. I would love to make an episode about it, but yeah, I realized at a very, very young age that many people, not many people, the person raising me was controlling me by money.
Oh,
And then
goodness.
I was starting to date people like this, right? So this is why I want to create programs where people can recognize these behaviors young so that they can find ways, healthy ways to cope and not end up in a similar situation.
So are you like speaking of like financial abuse?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Mm.
yeah. And we are definitely going to dive deeper into that.
Oh, we absolutely will, because that reminds me of like a situation my mom had. And I didn't even realize what financial abuse was till college. So that's like really interesting. Like I hope listeners out there are being able to discover like those things maybe at a sooner point of their life, so they can like be able to get in some type of control like soon. Because I think like financial abuse can sneak up and you just don't. It took me so long to realize what it was. So that's interesting you brought that up, that you had to deal with it for your whole life.
It's all a power game. It's all about people figuring out what your needs are, like people who not people but people who don't have the best intentions for you, right?
Mhm.
They will purposely figure out what you are lacking, what it is that you desire, what it is that you need, so that they can use that against you. And this is why I am so I preach to my kids all the time: get to know people first before you are like telling them your life story. You know, understand what trust is, understand who safe people are, understand if they are fishing for information, or if they're actually, if is this a reciprocal, is there reciprocity there,
Mhm.
right? Because if it's a person fishing for information, they're not telling you anything, they're just asking you questions.
Oh my goodness. I fall for that all the time. It's bad.
Yeah.
That's where the tism comes in.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because you might need to help me a little bit.
It's so true. But that's why I always like, when I am, getting to know people, I always let them speak first. And then I always share my point. I'd never want people to think that I'm just sitting here collecting information from them. And you can spot it so like, well, you can't. I can spot it so easily now because
Mhm.
I've been studying this for so long. You get what I'm saying? Like, this
Right.
has been something that I've studied. So if you don't study it, if you're not, used to people watching like me, you're not going to pick up on it that fast because you're interested in making a friend.
Right.
You're
Right.
you're genuinely trying to make a friend.
And that is like literally my inner child.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Ah, yes.
Then um that the what I wanted to ask you is just then, who do you turn to when like things get tough, or you don't know to, if something's just off, or maybe somebody's trying to take control of you in the past but you just didn't know, you couldn't put your finger on it? Like, who do you turn to? Well, who is that reliable person to give you that reality check?
Myself, unfortunately, just myself. Myself. I do not have a support system. I do not have people that I can lean on. Even when I was in therapy, I just recognized that I was not feeling it. Like, I didn't feel a connection with these therapists. I did not feel like they were genuinely interested in what I was talking about. When
Mhm.
you are watching mannerisms and you're watching people's eyes, right? I'm a good eye watcher. If I'm telling you something and you're like rolling your eyes, I'm like, oh, nah, I'm done talking.
Oh my goodness. Like when I see that, and because I can't read every single facial expression. So when in the moment when that happens, I'll just be like, oh, what does that mean? That doesn't feel great. And it feels like horrible. So just like me imagining somebody like do that to you, I'm like, who did that to you and why? You-
But that's why I'm so careful when I'm speaking to people. Because sometimes I genuinely cannot help my facial expressions. And it's funny because I was just telling Zeta, I was telling you that I'm in a room that does not smell great. So I was like, I am definitely excuse me, I am definitely needing to turn off my camera because it doesn't smell great. It just it's like there's just some things that I can't hide my facial expression. And that's just me. That's just I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But what I'm referring to are people who are intentionally trying to get a reaction out of you, right? When somebody is purposely trying to dismiss you, or when somebody is purposely trying to make you feel belittled or small. I just watch I just study people. I I don't know how else to I don't know how else to explain it, but I do study human behavior, and I just I can look at somebody and tell that they are not somebody who I need to be telling my life story to, you know?
I think that's like actually a really great life skill. And something that like I would also aspire to be able to do better in my life to and I think like for me, right? I think because I'm kind of someone who kind of know what kind of people that I like, and they just naturally come, and the bad ones just kind of weed themselves out a little bit. I'm noticing that I cannot see that when it's work, because when I'm thinking it's work, like I'm thinking we're on the same page, nobody's gonna sit there and try to do you dirty, but people will. And I only realize it way after when somebody is trying to belittle you or
Yeah.
ugly you. So it's
Yeah.
like I really hope, like I would look forward to definitely talking more about that later in another episode too, because
Definitely.
ooh, that's a dynamic. Like if there was a dynamic, that's a whole nother dynamic to me, because I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're passionate about it and that you studied it, because I'm like, shoot, maybe
I could be like an FBI agent. Like I could just,
ooh.
Make a little money, be an FBI agent, and just stare at people all day, because that's all they really do. FBI, they're studying human behavior. They can spot when somebody's lying, things like that. I can spot when somebody's lying before they even do it, and it's like,
oh, that's a gift. That is a gift.
Stop it. Stop. But I will let them get through the lie. Like if I have already let them know that I don't trust them, I just stop them mid-sentence, right? I stop it. But if it's like a new liar, I let them continue with the lie. I let them lie so that I can understand what the purpose is. What are you lying for? What's the purpose of this lie? Why are you doing this right now?
Right. What are you hiding? Why are you hiding?
But then once I have let them know that I know that they are a liar, I don't even allow the sentence to come out of their mouth. Like, please stop. Just stop. Stop right there. But it has been a great conversation today.
It has. Like this and it's so funny because like this is like our intro, but I'm like, we talked about like some great things up in here.
Yeah, no, we covered everything.
We sure did. I'm like, this just makes me very, very like hopeful. Like I feel like we have like a good energy. And that was something that you mentioned when this was first in this conception about like our energy amongst us all. And this was just really, I'm really looking forward to a whole lot more.
Yes, me too. So today you've gotten to know us a little better, what makes us laugh, what shaped us, and why this podcast exists.
And if you felt this conversation, follow us wherever you get your podcast, share it with a friend, and join us on this healing journey.
And next time we're diving into a conversation. Ooh, I love this one. Showing up for yourself. What it really means to choose you, even when it's hard.
For sure. And don't forget to visit us at www.goldandblack.com groundedstars.com to book a class today.
Yay! See you again soon.
See ya!